There are so many details that go into a wedding, and there are some details you should make sure to include just to make sure that your wedding guests have an experience that they will never forget. So today's video is going to be about wedding details you should make sure you include to make sure that your wedding is one for the books. Let's get into it. So let's talk about signage. I like to use signage by using the engagement shoot photos to provide a welcome sign, a seating chart, a directional sign. Using the pictures at that moment is a great way to make sure your investment in the pictures stretches a bit. You can also use the signs at your rehearsal dinner, your bridal shower, or your co-ed wedding shower. You can use them on your cocktail tables during cocktail hour to remind the guests to go sign the guest book. And then you can also use them at the guest book table to let them know, hey, this is where they would sign the guest book. You can use the pictures in so many different ways, but making sure that you have proper signage throughout your entire wedding, the ceremony, the reception, the cocktail hour, or anything in between, that adds a special touch to make it look like that you were paying attention to the absolute smallest of details. All right, now let's talk about your place cards or your escort cards. These are also little things that can sometimes get overlooked, but you can make these happen in so many unique ways. You can have the escort cards as part of your design during your cocktail hour. And then the seating cards, of course, it helps with the overall tablescape, and it also personalizes the experience that your guests have when they arrive to their table. And the difference between the escort cards and the place cards, if you think about the name of them, the place cards tell them what table and what place at that table they will be sitting at. The escort cards are simply to let them know what table they actually belong to. And these things, you can add so many different designs. You can also integrate your favors as part of your escort cards or your seating cards or your place cards. And these can be a big thing that can add just another small little touch to what you're doing for your overall event. So again, it goes back to the details, and this is one small detail that you can add simply. You can do the simplest of things, or you can be a little more extravagant, but either way it goes, it still shows that you paid attention to the details of who's actually going to be there, where they're going to sit, how they're going to experience your wedding with you. Now let's talk about creating memorable entrances. A memorable entrance can set the tone for your wedding and makes it easy for people to know exactly where the wedding will be taking place once they arrive. I'm a big supporter of a memorable entrance because I customize draping for weddings and events. A memorable entrance can serve as a photo backdrop for your guests and will also be one of the many things they remember from your wedding day. It can be made of various components like flowers, draping, or even greenery, or a combination of all three. No matter what you decide to use, just remember a memorable entrance can be the touch you need to make your wedding day complete. You've been watching so far. Why not subscribe? Hit that button down below and turn on the notification bell. Let's talk about uplights. They are small cubes of light that shine up a wall using the color that complements your overall color palette for your wedding. They are overlooked quite often, but can be such a beautiful addition to your wedding. I am a person that constructs a design that doesn't just focus on the overall look, but the ambiance that needs to be created. The ambiance of a wedding can make or break the experience for your guests and can be magnified by simply using uplights. Is your room too dark? Are you using candles? What are the colors of the walls? Are the overhead lights on dimmers? These are all questions that are important to consider when the discussion of uplights arise. You should also consider the time of day your event takes place. A 7 o'clock reception in November has a completely different lighting needs as a 7 o'clock reception in June. You should also keep your guest's ability to see during the reception in mind as well. I like to create lighting stages for a reception. When the guests first come in, the lights are lower and it sets the mood for the reception. Once the dinner is announced or served, the lights come up a bit so people can see their dinner, of course, and also their fellow table mates if they would like to talk. Once the party portion of the reception begins, the lights are lowered again, so that way we end the reception in the same mood we started it in. These are a few suggestions of wedding details you should make sure you have for your wedding day. Leave a comment below of what you are considering for your special day. I would love to hear from you. Never forget, there is always a reason to celebrate. We'll see you next time.